if I were going to take this and do something a little bit more interesting with it, so one thing I'm going to do here, let's just go file, let's just export the spell. I'm going to save this state. When I make a template from this, maybe I'll add some of these intermediary steps in for you to try each one of them yourself. But in the meantime, the biggest, in my mind, flaw in this system right now is that we're actually just utilizing whatever the query is, the thing that the person said to the bot, in order to pull in its information. Right? We're just directly querying from this. And this isn't great. It's only going to get us mediocre results, probably. So what I would do in this particular case is I'm going to drop this search knowledge node for a second. And we're going to drop down a generate text node. So this generate text node, we're going to give it a very specific prompt. So we're going to grab another template here. And we know that we want the query. So we're going to say, you are an AI agent memory system. Your job is to query your knowledge for relevant information. You have been asked query. Right? So we're going to take our content, same as we did with the other one. We're going to toss it into query here. You have been asked query. Please generate 5 questions which you would like to query your memory with. Generate these questions each on a new line. There will only be 5 and there is no formatting, or no formatting. 1 question per line. I find sometimes the model wants to add numbers and stuff. It can sometimes be hard to coerce this into it. So what I'm going to do here, I've disconnected my runtime right now, and we're just going to, as we're building this, we're going to test it out. So I'm going to take this result, we're going to put this into the prompt space, and we're going to say, oh, you're an AI agent memory system. Your job is to query your knowledge for relevant information regarding MagickML, a visual programming environment for AI agents. Now you'll notice that we use this in 2 places here, this description. Maybe after I finish with this section, we'll do some optimizations and we'll pull that into a shared variable, and you can see a little bit how variables work. But in the meantime, I just want it to know a little bit about the environment that it's in, which might help it to query information better if it knows the type of information that's available. If we had document summaries per document, that might also be a handy thing to be able to grab and inject in so that it knows what kinds of documents it could query. That would definitely increase the likelihood of a good result here. But in the meantime, we're going to clear this. We've got our query. We're going to say, tell me about MagickML. We're going to run this. And notice we're not printing it anywhere, so I'm going to go in, I'm going to check out the response. Oh, apparently I'm not going to check out the response. I'm going to have to look into that. So then let's send this out to a send message here. And we'll hook this up. We'll hook this up, and we'll say the same thing. Tell me about MagickML. Oop. Had to sync. There we go. And we'll get our response. What's the purpose of MagickML in the context of AI agent development? Who are the creators? What are the key features? So we'll see we got 5 questions now that could actually all lead to much better results for each one of them querying from our agent's knowledge. So in order to act on these things, we're going to need to do a little bit of formatting because we just got a big chunk of strings. So there is in here a string splitter. So the string splitter will take a string, i.e. our response, and will separate it at each new line. If it's helpful for people, I can make a helper node that just splits at new lines, because this is a relatively common thing. I sometimes get tripped up trying to remember what the new line character is. But what I'm doing is I'm taking this response and I'm turning it into an array of 5 strings for each one of these questions. If you're following me, let's move these over a little bit. So the next thing that I then want to do, we have another search node, which I made specifically for this kind of situation. Because I was like, well, maybe somebody wants to query in tandem a bunch of questions. So now we have 5 questions, and we're going to toss that into our query input. We're going to say when this generate text node is done, we're going to search for many things from knowledge. With that, right, we're now going to continue our chain. We're going to take that there. We're going to drop the knowledge into the knowledge thing. And so we now have this intermediary question generator that will hopefully give us far more useful information to put into our agent. All right, so we're going to clear that, and we're going to say, tell me about MagickML. Now, the thing that we want to see is our string splitter splitting properly? It looks like it is, right? You'll notice we've added on another generate text node, so it slows down our response a little bit. We can look to hook this up to a much faster model. I've been finding Haiku to be very fast. Grok, we also have access to, which is also very fast. I've also been considering checking out Fireworks. Been hearing good things about them. So it looks like we may be getting some issues. Yeah, we're only getting one output here from this query. So what's our result look like? No, there's our 5. They're coming into our queries. Maybe if we do 5 items per search, let's clear this. And let's just say, tell me about MagickML. Now, let's see. Text template's going into system. It's going into response. So that should... we should be getting more information from our search many node. Yeah, so we got 4 more coming in. Nothing, well, we got a few handfuls of things. We could try to increase the count. This is per node, so in theory we could return 50 documents from this. There's only 1 document in memory, which is likely limiting how much we're actually getting back out of this right now. But let's just see. Sometimes these kinds of prompting things I find to be a little bit fiddly in that you need to fine-tune them and find what the best combination of things is to lead to results that works for you. So we're going to pop out the other side. There we go. Have any factual information in my knowledge base based on the context provided. Visual programming environment. Let's see. Our text template is spitting out MagickML. Well, maybe it's just the finickiness of the model itself, not wanting to commit to what we're saying that it knows. But we can see here now we have a much more robust system. We have multiple queries now being generated by an LLM that's kind of thinking through what queries it might need. We see that we're searching for all of those items concurrently, so we're going to get more information coming in about Magick. We've learned how to use text templates, a little bit of data manipulation with our split node. We've learned about the message history and how to recall previous messages and events. And so we'll leave this at that for now. I'll cover in the future a little bit more about maybe we could optimize this pipeline further. I'm thinking one of my next ones will be Baby AGI. We'll build Baby AGI from scratch. And I'll probably also do a research assistant. We can start looking at how we might architect out a basic autonomous agent loop. So we want something, that would be able to decide when it wants to retrieve knowledge, when it wants to store information in its memory, let it search the internet and find relevant information for our query. Probably going to do that with some kind of a web search node that we're going to be rolling out soon. But in the meantime, this should get you up and going with a basic knowledge bot. So thanks so much for checking out Magick and for listening to this video. Yeah, thanks.